Where do you think you're going? The data core room is for authorized personnel only. You're not gonna get in there.
I was looking for the cafeteria. Sorry.
So this is the data core room where you need to get according Van Bruggen's information. The thing is that it's funny, it's one of the few rooms or places in the game where you have laser challenges. As we build the game, oftentimes we start by building the ingredients and everything, and then eventually we build the maps and try to use them. But as we built the maps, we kind of realized that all the environments we were visiting and everything were not necessarily having the right logic to take advantage of some of the ingredients. And we were like, our lead level designer, René Martin Posé, had these guys working on some gyms and trying to find cool ways to use the lasers and stuff. And it was hard to really make them fit in the game, and therefore here with the data core room, where it's supposed to be heavily guarded because there's a lot of secret information and everything, we went like, okay, hey, that would kind of make sense to use those ingredients here, and this is where we put it. The only regret, so I think in the end it works well. The only regret I have is that with the our alarm system, it was kind of hard to give a very clear feedback to the players, because if you're detected by a laser and you're very far away from the alarm panel, like the sound doesn't go really to you, like you hear it, but it's very low, it's very subtle, and if you were not paying attention, probably you didn't realize that it was the alarm was triggered, and now you see those bell towers guard coming to you, and you're like, what the hell happened? Like sometimes it wasn't clear enough, like if you were detected by the lasers or not. So, but in the end, it was not too bad.
Pritchard, I'm retrieving Van Bruggen's evidence now. Is Sarif patched in?
Right here, Adam. I'm listening.
I just heard that your team is mobilizing in Detroit. Why wasn't I informed of this sooner?
Tactical assignments are not your concern.
Reed and her team have subdermal GPL implants. They'll be tracked. Kidnapping them was a mistake.
Montreal took care of that.
Forgive me if I don't put as much faith in our friend Eliza as you do. She's too erratic.
Your concerns are noted, but I would advise you to concentrate on your own assignments instead of interfering with mine. Namir out.
Boss, did you get that?
I heard. I just...
Megan and the others. They're alive.
We've got to stay focused. Zawa's a residence at the top of the tower. It's off limits to everyone except her and her guards. Now get up there and find out what she knows.
Access granted.
It could not explain how millions of dollars in revenue ended up in his personal account. I'm sure it was just a clerical error, quipped Xiao Yunru, CEO of Taiwan Medical. As transferred on.
Hear about what happened with the boss at the hive?
Did he choke out another big mouth?
Where's chicken? So we're strolling through the hive and this broad starts laughing at the boss's humor, like she's never seen a bell tower cop before. Boss is already pissed off about what happened at the Capsule Hotel, so he gives her the stare of death.
Boy, do I know that stare.
Yeah. So the chick's boyfriend starts acting all tough and gets in his face for disrespecting his girl. So what does Khan do? He grabs both their heads and slams them into the bar.
So if you gave Arie Van Bruggen a gun in Tai Young Medical, you will have just heard him contact you, or are about to hear him contact you, to hack your bank account. It was one of the fun little ways that we wanted to play off that reward to give you something. And it also ties into kind of the philosophy that I had about the briefers. I've always hated it in different games when people can contact you on these private channels and just know where you are and know how you are and who you are, and they can just get in and you have no idea who they are.
Now you're politically correct, because with us you were referring to the SX1.
I was not. But at any rate, it was a really important point for me, and to make sure that every time anyone contacted Jensen, there was a reason that they could do it. So usually the only ones who would do it would be Seraph, Malik, and Pritchard, and every once in a while someone else would, and there would always be a reason. And I think this was one of my favorite ones, when Arie could just hack, and of course he could hack because he's this world-class hacker.
Actually, it reminds me the first external playtest we did for the alpha build. We had this player that actually was in this part of the game, and what Mary's talking about was already implemented, and he was really into what he was doing, and then he gets to the point where Van Bruggen contacts him, and I remember the guy like just removing his helmet and turning around and looking at us like, oh my god, like, how did he contact me? And like, he couldn't understand, like, he was so surprised that he managed to get into your bank account. And the fact that all that to say that Mary's philosophy seemed to add an impact on some players, and it was really well done. And for him, it was a very interesting surprise.
Hey, Seraph, man.
Son of a bitch. Van Bruggen?
Just thought you'd want to know. I survived that little surprise party back at the hotel. And I'm sailing away from this shithole as we speak. All because of you.
You want to thank me? Forget you ever had this frequency.
I got a better idea. I'm looking at your bank account right now, and, you know, Sarif really ought to pay you more.
Van Bruggen?
No need to thank me, man. Just enjoy it.
So here's a little maquette, a little scale model of the Tai Young Medical building. And when the artist showed it to me, I was like, but what is this? This is way too small. I'm like, what is this, for ants? It needs to be at least 3 times bigger. And we ran out of time, so we could never do it 3 times bigger.
But the architect scale model really show us like what the Tai Young Medical facility is.
Yes,
it's
it
like
really
the
does.
Foundations of the entire universe for Tai Young Medical, right?
That's exactly what it is, because once they had this, then they were able to build a real one. But joking aside, the reason why we put it there is because when we had the entire map in the Upper Angsha, we could literally see the building, and the whole thing was designed, concept arted, everything built. But when we cut it, we didn't have
Upper Angsha, you mean?
What did I say?
Lower Angsha.
Lower Angsha, sorry, Upper Angsha. And then when we cut Upper Angsha, the player had no conception of what that building looked like anymore. So we said, you know what? Often in building, there's a little maquette, there's a little scale model of that building inside that was done by the architectural firm that's built the building. And this is what that is.
Funny how that happens.
Continue to emerge. Sources close to the multinational giant inform me that it has successfully purchased rival corporation Enprotech of Scotland. Enpro stock had taken a dip earlier in the day as rumors began to circulate, accusing CEO Ollie McTavish of embezzlement. McTavish denied the allegations, but could not explain how millions of dollars in revenue ended up in his personal account. I'm sure it was just a clerical error, quipped Zhao Yunru, CEO of Tai Young Medical, as transfer of ownership was officially declared. The purchase gives Tai Yong a significant increase in global market share. This is Eliza Kassan reporting to you live from Picus. To China now, as details about a bold maneuver by biotech corporation Taiyong Medical continue to emerge. Sources close to the multinational giant inform me that it has successfully purchased rival corporation Enprotech of Scotland. Enpro stock had taken a dip earlier in the day as rumors began to circulate.
Access
CEO
granted.
Ollie McTavish of embezzlement. McTavish denied the allegations, but could not explain how millions of dollars in revenue ended up in his personal account. I'm sure it was just a clerical error, quipped Zhao Yunru, CEO of Taiyong Medical, as transfer of ownership was officially declared. The purchase gives Taiyong a significant increase in global market share. This is Eliza Kassan, reporting to you live from Picus.
Okay, so we talk through the game during different cutscenes, like that they're challenging to do and everything, and sometimes we were debating among ourselves how we should pursue the scene and everything. And with this one is the one that we debated the most within the team, because we wanted to have Zion Ru to show that she's a very strong character, that even though she plays the weak link, actually she might be a much more important and strong character than what we can perceive. And at the same time, we always try to avoid Jensen feeling like that he can be manipulated too easily, and try to avoid him feeling stupid and whatnot. And in the original scene, he was not necessarily playing that way, but
it was different. We made some mistakes in the initial writing because we really wanted it to be that he actually did surprise her because she was in the shower. She had just finished a shower and she came out, but we couldn't get the shower effects that we wanted. And the whole way that we approached the scene was, the idea was that he actually did take her by surprise. She was terrified because she's part of the Illuminati, and she thought he was an Illuminati hitman coming to get her.
Right.
And in the course of the scene, she realized, oh, no, I know exactly who it is, and she turned the tables on him. And the whole idea we wanted was to go against the cliche. Unfortunately, because we couldn't get the showers working and we couldn't do all that, we ended up having to put her in the room, and then it looks like she's awake
a lot of
and
people
aware
came
of
to us,
him,
right, telling
and
us that
it's very
Adam's character wasn't right there,
Yes.
right?
Adam, what the hell'd you do? The entire building's on alert.
Panic room. She's got a goddamn panic room.
Yeah, well, so do I. Forget about her right now. Get to the hangar bay, fast.
He's in the penthouse area somewhere, and I want him found immediately. He cannot get out alive. You hear me? So comb this area on the double and find his ass. Now!
Yes, sir. I know! Let's go!
Jensen, I'm coming to pick you up. You anywhere near their hangar bay?
I'm heading there now.
Great. Get those bay doors open or this rescue attempt ain't gonna happen.
So this sequence with the two box guards that you have to face or try to avoid, and opening the roof for Farida to pick you up, it was really challenging because at the beginning we mentioned probably a few times Nari Khan, which was an important character.
Well, he was the head of Taiyong Medical Security, and he was supposed to be an important character, depending on how you play.
It turned out not to be.
Yeah, and he turned out not to be. He was supposed to appear in Upper Hang Shaw as
Yeah.
her bodyguard
Yeah.
and all this stuff. And so we were going to have this be a boss fight against him and the box guards.
Yeah, it was a mini boss fight.
A mini boss fight. And then he ended up, he could have been dead by this point because we brought him in at various points.
Yeah.
And so then we ended up now dealing with the fact that we had to get the box guards and you had to get Farida to land, and how
Yeah.
could we deal that if the player
So
went?
we cut him because in the end it was not a big consequence, like a relevant consequence. So we focus on the 2 box guards. But the thing is that we wanted you to maintain your ability to sneak by or to fight. So if you fight the box guards, it's pretty straightforward. You destroy them, and end of the story. Now you go and you can activate the beam to open the roof and get Farida in. But if you're more a stealthy player, we had to find the tricks on how you have to disable to link the box guards to the security systems, and until that they're disabled you cannot open the roof. And now today it seems pretty straightforward and simple, but to get to that, I would say, relatively elegant and simple solution, it took quite a lot of time to get there.
Prior to opening doors.
Incorrect security sequence. Please disable security box prior to opening doors. Hangar doors locked. Incorrect security sequence. Please disable security box prior to opening doors. Hangar doors locked. Incorrect security sequence. Please disable security box prior to opening doors. Hangar doors locked. Incorrect security sequence. Please disable security box prior to opening doors. Hangar doors locked. Incorrect security sequence. Please disable security box prior to opening doors. Security measures disabled. Hangar doors unlocked. Self-destruct sequence. Security measures disabled. Hangar doors unlocked.
Jensen, time to hightail it back to Detroit. Get in.
We're not going to Detroit.
What?
We're going to Montreal. I'll explain en route.
Damn right you will.